Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tanya from Royal City Nursery, and we are standing in one of my favorite spots in the whole garden at the garden center. Now, admittedly, we've only got one garden, but it's kind of 300 feet long, and this is actually, as I said before, one of my favorite spots. I like this one because I love grasses. Both Dave and I use grasses a lot in our gardens, both at home and both for your place when we're designing too. One of the reasons we do that is because grasses have a fair amount of texture. They're also very quick to grow, which is kind of nice. So right now we're shooting in mid-July, and you can see that this northwind switchgrass is almost 5 feet tall, which is kind of awesome because at the end of March, this thing was literally that big and looked like a bunch of dead sticks. So it's perfect in a parking lot application like this because it means we can mount all kinds of snow up on top of this and we don't have to worry about breaking them. What we thought we'd do today is take you through a few of the grasses that are out here in our parking lot garden and just explain what it is they do. So first and foremost, the band that you're going to see running the full 300 feet of the place is this one. It's a switchgrass. Switchgrass, Latin name is Panicum. So Panicum, here we are. But we use this particular variety, Northwind, because it gets a beautiful, beautiful fall color. So we're anywhere from yellows to oranges. And when the seed heads pop out in another month, we're looking at something that has actual seeds. So this is a plant that the finches and the small birds pull their seeds from all winter long. So it gives a great habitat. Standing in front of me here is a nice little one. This guy here. This is called Little Blue Stem. And well, it's Little Blue Stem because if you look at the leaves are kind of grayish blue, almost steel. So it is a little bit shorter, and that's okay. So this one's about knee height, 2.5 feet high. And when you look at the plant, it comes up and then it fountains out. So you get something that's a little bit more graceful. Native plant. So it's really, really good in shade. No, not so much shade. Semi-shade to full sun. And again, really good for pollinators and good for naturalizing. What is a naturalizing plant? Well, a naturalizing plant is one that spreads on its own. So again, we plant this one because it doesn't mind wet feet. And out here in our parking lot, we get a little bit of wet feet coming off the parking lot when it rains. But then it goes to absolutely cracking dry. Grasses love that kind of environment, so it means that we don't have to do anything too. Standing beside me here, this nice big one, when we take a look at this, take a look at how the leaves arch out the top. This is a variety of Miscanthus or a variety of silvergrass. There's hundreds of varieties. We carry probably about 10 to 15. And this is one of the ones that gets the silvery plumes at the tail end of August, early part of September. Now, in terms of maintenance, what do? Honestly, very little. We've got a lot of this. We want to take care of your place. We want to take care of our plants on the retail floor. We don't want to have to take care of our gardens all that much. So the only thing we do with these is at the end of the season, usually end of March, early April, we take all of this and we cut them down. We don't be nice, we cut them down to about 4 or 5 inches tall. And again, it looks like a bunch of dead sticks. And that's okay, because in a few months, they're gonna be a fair bit high. So this one's almost 6 feet high, gives you some awesome, awesome privacy around your pool. Use it to help disguise some of the hydro boxes or some of the utilities you've got in the area. Use it to create a totally different room space, or you can even use it to give you some texture. Now, if we come a little bit further down, we're going to head this way. I'll meet you there. I'm going to get Cass to come in here with me. Now, when we look at this particular one, this one isn't as big as its surrounding buddies. And that's okay, because he's trying to tell us something. So we need to speak plant. And one of the first things we're going to do is open it up. So if we take a look down here, right down in the middle, we see in the middle that it's starting to, you can see right here, right? We can see right there. It's starting to grow around a bulb. It's producing a bulb spot, really. And one of the things that is trying to tell us is it's time to be divided. So every 3 to 5 years, we're going to dig this up and we're going to divide them out. Is it a lot of work? Ultimately, we only think about it as pruning. You really only need to prune them every 3 to 5 years, so it's not too bad. When we dig them up, and we'll explain how to do this in the fall because we're going to do a few, you dig the whole thing up, turn it on its side, and use a sharp knife or a sharp shovel or a sharp spade and cut it into bits. So a plant like this, literally, I can cut into 4. It means I can give 3 away and keep 1, or I can just create a longer garden bed. We're going to come a little bit further down and further in and take a look at a couple other varieties of grasses that are back here. This is actually one of my personal favorites. This is a variety of Calamagrostis or featherweed grass. And when you look at it, it's in full flower now. So you've got grasses that flower in June and July. You've got grasses that flower in August and September. What that is the difference between cool season grasses, which are things that like cooler temperatures. So because it likes the cooler temperatures, it's showy a little bit earlier. But they kind of poop out when it gets really, really hot. The grasses that are yet to flower, so like the Panicums and like the Miscanthus that we saw down there, these are warm season grasses. These guys don't like to poke their heads up above the soil until it gets warm and toasty. Kind of like you, right? You're all covered under, you're all snug in the bed, and you just, if it's too chilly, you kind of put a toe out from underneath the covers and go, nope, that's not it, I'm staying in. So that's why you get a combination. So we need warm season grasses to give us fall color. We need cool season grasses to give us summer color. This particular one is called Overdam, and again, it's a featherweed grass. So it's about 4.5 feet high, but if you look at it, straight up and down like a post. So this plant only gets shoulder width. Beautiful, beautiful against the side of a pool, really good for privacy, or even in that really tiny, tiny space between the houses, so long as you're getting at least half a day of sun. There's one other one. We're going to head through the grass all the way down to the end, and we're going to take a look. And I know I said the Calamagrostis was my favorite. I got a secret. This is really my favorite, but it's kind of like your kids, right? You don't want to tell it. You love them both the same. Absolutely, you should love your children both the same. Plants, I don't have to. I love this one. So this is a variety of moor grass called Sky Racer. One of the reasons we planted this, and we are out in the corner in the middle of nowhere pretty much, we planted this one because these seed heads hit 8 feet tall. So it's beautiful when they're in full flower. And the leaf on this doesn't look a whole lot different than anybody else's grass leaf. But one of the things that is different with it, and it's super, super hard to see, if you take a look at how much it bends, take a look at this, at that arch. As the leaves dry, they'll actually start to curl, and it looks like somebody put it through a curling iron. It's really, really pretty. But Sky Racer is beautiful at the back of a border, or in our case, we bordered it between some cut leaf sumac and a fence. So it helps hold it up. And this is something you really only see from August through October. So it gives our garden just a little bit of pop at the tail end of the season. Hope that helped. We'll be back and take you through a few other parts of the garden in a little bit. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.